Hi, my name is Andy Roberts from In War and Peace, and this is your first look at a review on Lifecolor's brand spanking new improved surface primer. So this is the new product, the surface primer. This one is grey, a universal acrylic primer from Lifecolor. Now it says on the instructions that you can airspray this. Thin the primer with the Lifecolor acrylic thinner. Now I found 2 parts to 1 was probably the best, or you can actually brush it. Now sometimes when something says airbrush and brush, I can be quite skeptical, and this is because I've had a number of products that when it says you can brush it, yeah, you can brush it, but because the paint is thinned down for the airbrush, you're expanding and putting loads and loads of layers on to get it anywhere near what the finish would be like on an airbrush. So going back to what I've just been talking about, here is 2 pieces of plastic that are now stuck together and on the actual base of the figure, for the figure. Now one of these I airbrushed and one of them I painted with a hairy stick. So you can see the difference. What one do you think is the one that's airbrushed, and which one do you think is painted with the hairy stick? I can hear the cogs turning now as we speak. And it is, drum roll, the one above. I did not find a whole lot of difference between the paintbrush and the airbrush. The paintbrush goes over nice and smooth, and the airbrush, once thinned down to the right consistency, actually goes over superb and keeps every tiny little bit of detail as well. So here we got my test dummy, which is a Vietnam figure in 1/16 scale. So if you look at the figure itself, that's not been primed with anything, but the base has been primed, and I did have a video of it, but I've got to be honest and say that I was trying to edit it and somehow I deleted it. Should have some bloopers really, come back at the end, never mind. So moving on, I found it very easy to spray, but I also found it very easy to brush. The difference really is using slightly more paint when you're brushing to them when you're airbrushing, of course. So moving on from this, so with the primer done, again I was doing this as a video, so it's not one bit at a time here, but basically I was looking at the actual base and I used some Lifecolor Debris and Rubble European Villages, and out of that I used UA 737 Worn Brick, UA 740 Old Tile, and I also used UA 738 Deposited Dust. So the next stage of the base was using Lifecolor's combo pigment and colour set, for which I used PG 115 red dry mud, and then used UA 194 red mud. Both of these covered straight away over the top of the primer without any issues whatsoever. And alright, this is me messing about really, but you can see how it's taking the effects and everything else. And I always feel that the best way of getting anything done properly is obviously having the right primer. Lastly, on the base I have used some extra pigments, and if you look at where the tyre tracks are, I've done it so that you've got parts where the tracks are very much in view and look better. It's picked them out, as it were. And I've done some water effect, which I'd actually done earlier, but just did another layer over it just to see whether that would work okay on top of the paints and pigments, and I believe it has. In fact, I'm quite chuffed with it. But this is the last I'm going to be doing on the base. It was purely to be able to show you that the actual primer itself was the star here, and I most definitely believe that. And that's just going to lead me on to one more, well, maybe 2 or 3 more pictures of the same thing, which is the actual figure, or should I say the legs of the figure. So here is half of our soldier, and if you're wondering what paint I've used for this, again, it is Lifecolor. It's a paint set that they brought out fairly recently, and it is called US Army Uniforms 1948 to 1980 Combat and Fatigue Clothing. And again, once I've finished off some more bits that I've got to do first, I will then get back to this particular figure and get it finished off with some bits all around the base as well, making it look that little bit nicer than, you know, a bit more realistic, if you like. And I'm hoping that you've enjoyed this little mini review of Lifecolor's new acrylic paint. I certainly do recommend it. All I would say is that make sure when you are doing the actual thinners to the paint itself, 2:1 paint to thinners, and then I think you will be fine. This has been AD Roberts from In War and Peace, and this is all about Lifecolor's brand new improved primer. If you have liked this video, please go out there and tell all your modelling friends, your family if they're historians. I am trying to do some history versions using dioramas. And don't forget, press the big like and the bigger subscribe button to find out what else is coming. I will be doing a short video with a bit of background music just showing you some of the things that I have got to review. I'm sure you're going to be quite surprised. So I would like to thank Lifecolor and the airbrush company, especially Lisa. And if you want to buy direct, you can do directly from the airbrush company. That leaves one last thing. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please be safe. Much magic, happy modelling, and I'll see you in the next video.